Hello everybody, there we go. Now we're live in the proper video, in the proper stream that I set up for Senran Kagura Burst. I'm sorry, something that I have to do every single time I have a new live stream is to, I scheduled a stream ahead of time on YouTube, but then I gotta go under restream, and then I have to say, like, okay, when I go live with the restream, with the stream key, then it has to be this particular stream. Like, I have to go in and pick out the stream that I scheduled from YouTube ahead of time to be able to stream out properly, because then that also goes to Twitch, and then I gotta change the settings on Twitch as well. Is the whole thing. Every single time I do a stream, I have to do that, and I always forget. For how long have I been streaming? Like, for how many years have I been doing? And still, on the daily, I always forget to do it. But anyway, we're back, finally. Playing some more Senran Kagura Burst. So, we just did a few episodes. We did around 4 episodes for Shin Megami Tensei 5. That game just came out as brand spanking new, and already nobody cares about that game because frickin' Pokemon came out today, Brilliant Diamond and Shining Pearl. Now, if you are one of those people that are aware of the leak, that the game leaked out like 2 weeks ahead of time or something, I don't know. But yeah, there's a bunch of people that got the game super duper early, and I don't know, like, ever since that game leaked, I was never really like on top of the Pokemon news. Like, in my mind, it was like, oh, the game came out. And so for me, seeing like Twitter saying like, oh, Brilliant Diamond and Shining Pearl are finally here, and people started streaming it and stuff, and I'm like, didn't that game come out like 2 weeks ago? Like, oh no, that was the leak. Damn. But yeah, no, the game is finally out. So now everyone's attention is on Pokemon right now. And, nobody's really talking about Shin Megami Tensei 5 anymore. Much less anything Senran Kagura related. But hey, know your audience, right? And if your audience likes anime fan service, then I guess I have no choice but to give it to them. Anyway, we're gonna go ahead and just keep playing the game. There are some things that I might be able to do here in terms of OBS, because I really want to have my game on full screen, but at the same time I want to be able to see the chat. And if I can have the chat and OBS on like different windows, but if I minimize OBS, it minimizes the chat as well. So like, what the hell is the point? All right, so as far as I know, there really isn't anyone on Twitch, right? Yeah. 7 viewers on YouTube, 0 on Twitch. I don't even know why I fucking bother. But, what I'm gonna do is that I'm going to pop out the chat from YouTube straight out of my browser, not out of OBS, because OBS is all-inclusive, I guess, and so if one thing gets minimized, everything gets minimized. Alright, as far as I know, the microphone is good, the audio is good. Visually, everything is good, so if there are any issues, then I will read the chat, and I'll know in time. Okay, but I do need to move this over here. Alright. I found the perfect little corner for me, I found the perfect little corner for me to put the chat. Alright, so I got the YouTube chat. I won't be able to read Twitch chat or anything, but if anybody has Twitch, then they probably have a YouTube account as well, so they can just go in on YouTube or whatever. Like, who actually comes to Twitch? I think like Haseo and like one other person that was here, but that's kind of it. But I am gonna be focusing on the game today for the most part. I am very, very tired today. I'm literally like a minute or two before starting the stream, I was like falling asleep, seriously, because I was that tired. But me having to like struggle and finagle with all of the streaming stuff, and I didn't, you know, properly, you know, apply the stream to restream, and you know, just the anger that rises in me whenever I forget to do something that I've been doing on the daily for like years now. You know, that woke me up a little bit, but don't be surprised if I kind of just go quiet and fall asleep. I can go watch on Twitch. Don't do that, please. I just went through the trouble of pulling up the YouTube chat. Don't fuck it up by going on Twitch and commenting there. You fucking idiots. Anyway, we're gonna go beat up Hibari. We're continuing with the Senran Kagura birth story. So we're doing the typical confrontation with all the characters. I'm gonna have to go and open up OBS anyway so that I can make sure that the audio actually works. And, you know, I'm not overpowering the game, and the game is not overpowering me. I don't. I hand it over to a leader. Yeah, so the story's totally different here. It's not even like Hibari sending over the scroll or anything. It's so weird how, like, vastly different. It's like totally different timelines. How's your day going? Good. I'm just tired. It's a little low. Yeah, you see, this is my problem with these games. Dialogue and menus and everything is very, very low, and I have to bump up the audio super loud. But then the battles come in, and the battles are like 20 times louder. And so I gotta, like, bring the volume up, bring the volume down. Bring it up, and bring it down, like, every time. Mm-hmm. That's the spirit. Korosu? No, we gotta talk about killing now. To me, these words always ring hollow to me because in the 10 years the Senran Kagura has been a thing, no one has ever died. They just have like little bruises and band-aids, and that's kind of it. They're never actually serious about it, so there's no reason in saying it now. And of course, this is the very first game in the series, right? So going back and, you know, just having one game and not really knowing if you're gonna make a sequel or anything, you know, why not say it like that, right? Why not take it to the extreme and say, yeah, all of these characters could die, whatever, who knows, right? If you never make another Senran Kagura game again, then it's fine, right? They stay dead and it doesn't matter. But if you start to think, oh, we're gonna follow it up, if we're gonna follow it up with newer games, and, you know, people like every single one of their waifus, and, you know, you can't have them get hurt or die or anything, so then they backpedal, and so now everybody is just kind of injured, but not really dead. There doesn't need to be death in Senran. I agree, even though there's a ton of people that die in flashbacks and stuff. I'll rephrase what you said and say that the story is not inherently more interesting by just forcing death in certain situations. You know, because people think that, like, darker, more mature stories involve just, like, going on a fucking shooting spree and just killing off characters, or chopping off arms, or like, poking out eyes, and now this character has an eye patch. Like, just physically mutilating them or killing them doesn't inherently make a story much more interesting. It's kind of like what everybody said about Ruby, right? That after a certain point, everything gets super duper dark because, like, 7 characters die in, like, 3 episodes, and it's like, that doesn't make it better. It just means that a bunch of characters are dead now. And now they don't have a chance at developing and being better and having cooler moments. They're just dead. You know, that doesn't mean anything. And then, like, one of the main characters, Yang, like, gets her, like, her arm cut off, and she has, like, a robot arm now. Great, what did that do for her? Nothing. She just now doesn't have an arm. You know, it's like, that doesn't mean much unless, like, it enhances the story or does something to their character. And it's just a really cheap way to get shock value and bring attention to your series. And so, that's why for a lot of this anime stuff, most of the deaths are, like, in flashbacks, or, like, my parents died, or blah, 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 you know, somebody I cared about died a while back. But, like, the actual characters in the now, those are the focus, and those are the people that we see grow. And that's why pretty much everybody has plot armor, and they never die. But, like, in knowing that, it makes this dialogue that we're seeing right now sound fucking ridiculous. It just sounds stupid, knowing that in your head. It just sounds empty, it sounds hollow, and it's almost like they're insulting our intelligence. But again, this is the first game. I'm assuming that they didn't know that we're going to make more games, and that, you know, who would get brought back and who wouldn't. You know. Like, they want to have, like, a relatively serious story, but at the same time, they don't want to, like, you know, get in the way of anybody enjoying their own personal favorite waifu. So, like, there's no real consequences at the end of the day. There's a threat of consequences, but no actual consequences, because the status quo is always maintained. With the only, like, threat to the status quo being Senran Kagura 7, a game that hasn't come out yet, that kind of implies that things are gonna change. And again, that doesn't mean death, just changes, which would actually make the story, or the world of Senran more interesting. But hey, maybe not. Maybe Kariga and Katsuragi will be like Daidoji and just never graduate. And just be in Hanzo forever. I wouldn't say the same for Corpse Party. Yeah, but we're not talking about Corpse Party, are we? We're talking about something else, and that's something totally off topic that you brought up. Alright, here we go. Is this Hibari music? I don't recognize this song. This might be a song just for, like, the level and not... You're like, whose music is this? I would almost say that this is my first time listening to this track, but... Yeah, wow. This isn't a Hibari theme, is it? No. And it's not a Haruka theme either, because it doesn't have, like, the Spanish acoustic guitar music or anything. If things get dark, you just end up not caring about what happens to anyone. If they overdo it, right? Because then, if it's like this seinen kind of thing, where like everything is about tragedy and violence, and there's so many characters that die in a row, then yeah, eventually, you don't want to be attached to anyone, because it's like, alright, who's gonna get brutally murdered in this episode, alright? Or like, if there's a really good, well-developed character, you just know, oh, okay, at some point, they're gonna die because the author just wants to tug at the heartstrings and just cynically, like, you know, have this attempt at, like, making you cry and artificially try to make the series, like better or more interesting than it actually is, because they set up, like, this Jenga tower of, like, building up this character and then just tearing it down. And then making people cry with the attachment. Yeah, it's a cynical and calculated thing that people do sometimes. Not always, but sometimes. But then you can have a good way to handle deaths. Like in One Piece, right? Where, like, characters dying is very, very, very rare. It's more rare than finding a shiny Pokemon. But when it happens, it's very meaningful. It means a lot when a character dies. And it's a lot more impactful. As opposed to people thinking that they're fucking badasses when, like... that they're mature and badass, and when, like, in every episode somebody gets their fucking head ripped off by something. I don't know, that's just me. As I've gotten older, I've like, you know, disliked, like, super duper violent stuff more and more and more. I've, like, grown to just, like, not be super into it. During my teenage years, I was, like, all in on it, you know, because I thought it was fucking big and cool and strong for watching it, and now I just kind of don't really see the point, and I get really turned off by it. Especially when it's, like, super, like, gory, or, like, you know, when it's just, like, a fucking, like a water hose of blood for every single little tiny thing. And anime is obviously, like, the #1 thing that does that, right? But, you know, I can imagine that happening to the best girl. Alright, an hour and a half. Not an hour and a half, a minute and a half. Added a new term. Gosh, being able to play with the game on full screen feels so much better than just playing it on my OBS window. Of course, now that I'm streaming, my phone is blowing up with messages. Come on, who's gonna come in and bother me today? I was working all day, but, like, now that I'm actually, like, streaming and enjoying myself and taking the load off from today, now you want to fucking text me with something, even though I was available all fucking day. People, they just know. It's like they're watching the stream and they say, let's just bother the shit out of this guy by just calling him. Texting him with stupid bullshit that I could have asked him hours ago. At last, your sheer charm. Yeah, so the infatuation is still there. That pose is like new. I've never seen her do that. Oh, there we go. That's the invite? What a strange way to like restructure the story. That's so strange. Just like that? I forget, does she actually join or not? If she does, it's probably just some ploy to get the scroll back, right? Oh, asking her to consider it. Sure, bring her into the dark side with this plinky plonky music. Hey, why would I ever do that? But you're stupid, I'm still gonna consider it for some reason. I know you. Anyway, save. So we're in chapter 3 right now, right? Alright, let's just blast through this. I'm pretty sure the dialogue is not new, right? Homada vs Asuka. Okay, there's gonna be some long story bit here. Yeah, everybody just says the same thing as we said before. We've already been through this, so let's just move on. We can start chapter 4 relatively soon. I'm sorry I have to meet again like this, Homada, but I have to follow past Shinobi as I see it. Alright. Well, there we go. It's a little disappointing to see that the outfits for the Hanzo characters are just the same as the default stuff. You know, it's like the regular canon outfits and not whatever you customize them to be on the other game, on your other playthrough. It's pretty clear that that the Hanzo side and the Hebijo side are two completely just separate entities, you know? It's like you're like turning on a totally different executable depending on what story you go for, right? Like they're not connected in any way. It's not like Shinobi versus where you can do the Hanzo story and then whatever costumes and stuff you used in the Hanzo story will also reflect in the Hebijo story or in the Gessen story or anything like that, right? Here, just like, this is a totally different world, and in this world, they all got their default stuff put on. Fourth wall breaking of like, I know this is just a video game, but why would you ask? If it was that easy, I would just have given it to you. I would not have stolen it in the first place. What the hell? What is wrong with this game? Are the writers smoking weed? If it was as easy as just asking for it, why couldn't they just do that in the first place? Why did they steal it? Like, why would you, like, do that, bro? That, like, kills my vibes, bro. Nah. Because I'm behind you. Let me show you about how wrong you are about wanting to be powerful by me being more powerful than you in a fight. You can go into the hyperbolic time chamber for 100 years and you still wouldn't be as strong as me. Okay. For nobody to notice? I guess it's just for yourself, I guess. I mean, this feels really weird when, like, the whole point of a shinobi is to very quietly, you know, do things from the shadows. So there's no validation you know, or thankfulness or rewards that come out of it. You just want to do it because you want to do it. Which makes it even more ridiculous. There's no real point to doing it other than, you know, I just want to be strong. It just makes my balls feel big. Dragon Ball Z did the thing, so now all other anime things have to do the thing of being stronger. They were acting all weird. If there's any issues that you have, please send an email at send it to our YouTube customer support, and we'll be happy to send you a copy-pasted message that doesn't help you at all. It'll just say, "Did you read the terms and the terms of service? We highly recommend that you become familiar with them before posting content on YouTube." Just plain wrong. I will call the Lightbringer and come here to teach you a lesson. Yeah, only the winner and the loser, and the winner's the one that writes all the stories in the history books. Okay. Here we go. Is it just me, or does the burst logo on the loading screen doesn't look... It doesn't look very well cropped. Like my crappy crop of the logo on the streaming layout looks better than that. I mean, also, like, it's the super low resolution image blown up to like 1080p on my computer, so obviously it looks super pixelated and grainy and stuff, so I don't want to be too unfair with it, but hey. Alright, let's kick Asuka's ass. Opa. There we go. I like that this is nighttime and in the rain. Or maybe not nighttime, but you know. It's cloudy. It's cloudy and rainy. It's dramatic. Even though there's no actual rain being rendered. It's just a filter. It's like an Instagram filter that's just showing water falling diagonally down. Because if I move to the left and to the right, the rain doesn't react to me at all. It just stays in the same position the entire time. But you know, it's a 3DS game, and in the heat of the moment while you're fighting, you're not really paying attention to it, so... It's just a little, like, window dressing. You didn't have to notice it, you didn't have to pay that much attention to it. I always find it funny, though, whenever there's filters like that. Oh, there's rain, there's snow! Oh, there's volcanic ash floating down. And there's always just like a crappy little filter where it's all in the same position. It doesn't even like do any like parallax scrolling, right? Or like, usually parallax scrolling is for the background, right? You can put something in the background and then like the map on the foreground. Well, obviously the path is solid, but then the background is transparent, so you can put stuff in the background. And then it kind of scrolls a little bit as the character moves around, right? And as the camera moves. But you can kind of do something similar before the foreground, right? Have like transparent fucking Adobe After Effects rain, right? And then have it scroll slightly left and right, depending on where you're moving, right? You could do that, or you can just be lazy and just have it stay static there and hope that people don't notice, right? Obviously, if you're rendering this rain in real time and as actual like water drops falling, then it'll just naturally, you know, move as you move, right? You'll see it realistically change its look. Although a lot of the real-time rendered rain tends to go from top to bottom, right? I've never really seen any games that kind of deal with the wind and having the rain be blown into multiple directions. You know what I mean? And now here, the rain is just, like, not there anymore. It just disappeared, but you can see it scrolling on the corner. And it's still going in the same direction. It changes, like, the camera angle and everything to, like, this top-down view, and it's still going in the same direction. But yeah. It's funny. It does the kind of stuff that you notice when you start to get into game development and play around with RPG Maker and try to do your own things, and yeah. I really wonder how, like, game developers, like, good professional game developers, I wonder how, like, somebody that made The Last of Us 2 can look at a game like this, right? They don't really look at a game, right? They look at like, just a big chunk of code and go, man, they fucked up here, they could have done this, or man, I could have fixed it, you know, just doing this and this and that. That's the only thing that I worry about when I say that I want to make a game someday, with all of these plans and character designs that I got going on. And when I actually start working on it, it's like, you know, am I going to be able to enjoy games in the same way, or am I just going to, like, keep picking at it? You know, like, do filmmakers have that same problem where, like, they look at a movie and they just imagine the camera and the actors and how many takes it took to do a certain thing, you know? Or are they going to be actually going to be immersed in a world and get into the characters and stuff? I guess if they're into it, then I guess the movie must be pretty good, right? Then it made them forget that this was a film production, right? The movie magic. When all of the production and making of stuff is invisible and imperceptible, that's when you know that you've done a really great job in making a good film where everything feels natural and stuff, right? And I guess the same thing goes for a game, right? Where you play a video game and you don't see the code being typed up, right? It just feels like you're just immersed in a world. Then I guess you've done a pretty good job. VR games already have an unfair advantage when it comes to immersion, but still, you know, how good the motion controls and, you know, how good and natural feeling all that stuff is, then that's obviously a big part of it, you know? I would give that same compliment to maybe, like, Resident Evil 4. I haven't played it in a while, I really want to get back to it, but, you know, that game does a really good job at having everything feel natural, right? Except for when you pause the game to change weapons and stuff, then that kind of takes you out of the game. But it's fine. I've never really been the kind of person to, like, complain about it. It takes me out of the experience, bro, because, like, you're playing a video game. You know, you're sitting there in front of a screen and you're getting invested, right? But, like, I don't know. That to me seems kind of like a half-hearted, like, non-complaint. That it takes me out of the game, man. Like, that could be anything, and you know, that can mean different things to different people, you know, because if you want to get really granular and pedantic about it, then, like, what about the menus? What about the text boxes? What about other non-diegetic things that exist in the game, right? Doesn't that take you out of the game? It's like, what counts as being in the game and not in the game? It's just this vague, kind of nebulous, you know, kind of claim that people make, when they could just be criticizing that the voice acting isn't as good, right? Or, you know, like, the bad voice acting in comparison to other people's really good voice acting creates a disparity in the experience that makes it kind of jarring in comparison to all the high quality stuff, right? And saying that it gets me out of the experience. And if you say it in that voice, I don't know. Something about it just doesn't sit well with me. Especially when it's a phrase that everybody just kind of throws around really liberally, so, you know. Yeah, like, is that the face of someone being spent? It's like, you have, like, a weird, like, ditto face. Yeah, you don't look very, your feathers don't seem very ruffled at the thought of maybe dying. Gosh. I thought it was gonna die! Yay! Oh, she stole it back? Homura, during that entire moment of silence, I was like... As I sit here in this black abyss, I realize that maybe we, hero and villain, maybe they are not so different. Really? You flat out said that her philosophy and her reasons for fighting were wrong. You said that she was wrong. And then by the end of it, it's like, maybe we're not that different. Maybe we are the same. It's like, what? That don't make no sense. Make my brain hurt. It makes my big boy brain melt 1%. I can do it, I can do it. Are we still not done with chapter 3? Dude, come on. We play as Homura. Summer memories. Oh, okay, so now we're back. We're doing the beach thing again. Gosh, the difficulty levels really vary. You had two stars after doing a 4-star thing. Heal body and mind. Oh, I would love to get a little bit of that right now. So we just went to like a hot springs and now we're going to the beach. Heal body and mind. Good job on the Hanzo Academy mission. In return, I'm giving you the day off. I also have matters to sort out since Master Suzune. Okay. Fine. Alright, this is gonna be the same as the other one. They want to make a thing that is some like serious scenario and then, oh no, we're actually in the bus or on a train on the way to Kyoto or on the way to the beach or something. Mistress Haruka gives a fearless smile. I wonder who's narrating this. She feels her victory is a foregone conclusion. Not yet though. I'm not beaten just yet. Homura looks at me uneasily. It's alright. I'll protect her. I have to protect her. Oh god, they really went out of their way to make it sound super serious. But no, it's big jokey joke. Now that I come this far, all I can do is trust my instincts. Right. Gotta do this. Take a deep breath. Come on. Come on! Come get me! Come on, I'm waiting! I extend my right hand. Rock, paper, scissors? My card isn't... Okay, yeah. My card isn't the one with the kimono-wearing man holding the umbrella, but rather has a strip of red paper with Akayoroshi written in Japanese. Alright, so they they write out all of this Japanese stuff, but they make Mirai call Haruka Mistress Haruka? No! My instincts have failed me. Ba-dum. Ba-da-da-da-ba-ba-ba-da. Boar, deer, butterfly. I have no idea what game they're playing. The novel section is mostly the same as the Hanzo one. Yeah, I kinda figured. Mistress Haruka shows out her Hanafuda hand. She smiles in triumphant satisfaction. How is it possible? Even Homura sounds a little bit like Yagyu. Losing. Batsugame, alright, punishment game. Take her licks, take a vicious lick. We're gonna steal this entire seat off of this train. Mistress Haruka looks at Homura less viciously. No way. If Homura has to take the punishment, she's in for a world of hurt. Wow. They copied it even down to Mirai sacrificing herself and taking the punishment, but both of them are gonna get it, right? They literally just copy-pasted the exact same event and just changed the voice. They changed the voice actresses. That's it. No. Well, you see, that sounds like something that Katsuragi would do and not Homura. Like as opposed to the finger flicking. I don't know, we got a cool ninja art out of it, but still. Boob slap. What the heck is that? As I sit there dumbfounded, Mistress Haruka stretches out both hands. And here we go. Mistress Haruka swings both hands inward, delivering a pair of mighty swats to Homura's breast. The air around her practically vibrates from the bounce. It's an attack designed more to humiliate than harm, obviously. I mean, that's not gonna... Nothing's gonna vibrate with Mirai. She repeats the performance now aimed at me. Are? Yeah, no, it's impossible. She's impervious to it. Her boob slap passes by my chest without making contact. This is going too far for a simple punishment game. A universe of fury is born in my head. I glare at the Akayoroshi card in my hand. I won't forgive. If it weren't for this stupid card. I stuffed the card into my mouth. What? What? I mean, you can rip it up, you can fold it, you can crush it. Why eat it? Hey! I stuffed one card after another into my mouth. Why would you do that? There's no fear to eat the cards because you're losing. Mr. Haruka makes a grab for me. Gulp. But I swallow them before she can reach me. Why? Too bad. Oh boy. Mirai, why you little? Strangler. Oh, and Yomi, of course, the Kariga equivalent of the group, is the one shutting them up. Sis rebuke flies out at us. Yeah, they're looking at Mirai eating the cards, and everybody thinks she's like some weird special needs kid. And like, don't judge them. they were born that way. You can't you can't think less of them. We need to respect other people. I like to see the other passengers are all staring at me, devouring these cards. What are you looking at? You want to get boob slapped too? Enough, Haruka. We're going to get reported to police. Whatever, you're evil Shinobi. Fuck it. We quiet down. And the sound of, yeah, evil Shinobi saying, let's not bother everyone else. They'll call the cops on us. The sound of the train again reverberates to the passenger car. The constant steady rhythm feels nice. This is what it feels like to travel. As we exit the tunnel, the scent of the salt water drifts in. I peer out the window. So, like, when you go to the bathroom, you're gonna have to shut out all those cards at some point. We're almost there. We should get changed. Without even a thought for modesty, Mistress Haruka begins taking off her clothes. Right there? Like, literally right there in the seats in the train. People start staring. Some people are cheering and throwing money. Homura frantically attempts to stop her. It has no big deal. You're still, like, wearing your swimsuit here publicly, like here in the seats of the train, right? Not even, like, out into the beach. You're definitely the only person wearing a swimsuit. No big deal, huh? I guess that's one way to look at it, but I'm not sure. Okay, Hikage's doing it too. Hikage begins to follow suit. Oh boy. A much bigger way to catch attention. Oh god, she actually like yelled at him. Is there a reason you can't be quiet? This reprimand resounds like a roar from the heavens. The entire car goes silent and all gazes fix upon her and the other two sexy ladies that are taking their clothes off. I'm sorry, please excuse me. It's ironic because she wants people to be quiet and she's the one making the biggest amount of noise, but like, you know, she's right to do it. She shrinks down in embarrassment like a turtle receding into its shell. Why are we even going to the beach? It's not because of a mission. Because we got a full day off from the school. It all started yesterday. Very similar to the Hanzo version. It's literally copy-paste the exact same thing. They're even flashing back to why they're at the beach. Oh boy, they could have done something different. It didn't have to be, like, if it's gonna be that similar, why change everything else about the story? You know? That was my question. Why not just have the Hanzo story, but through their perspective? Master Suzune suddenly walked into the ninja room and gave us some odd words. We stared at her in confusion. Master Suzune didn't hesitate at all in responding. Though we didn't acquire the super duper scroll, we did acquire some valuable info. So you don't have it now, but you know what it does. Was it some kind of trap from Hanzo? Or could that be a function of the scroll itself? We don't know what it all means yet, but it'll play a role in the future planning for sure, so we were rewarded with this day trip to the beach. Okay. The reward for our first successful mission, but my thoughts are still jumbly. No one else has said anything, but I doubt I'm the only one who feels that way. Mr. Haruka is acting really cheerful, but I think she's hiding how upset she is at losing her team. We knew that our missions would be, yeah, losing her dogs. Having to fight our own. If our failure led to valuable data, I'm sure it'll be used to help us to try to get the scroll again. It was just the lower ranked shinobi who lost their minds, but what if it had to be the elite class? I tried to talk to Homura about it, but... What a great excuse. It's the Jedi mind trick logic. It only works on the weak-minded. If you were affected by it, then you just weren't strong enough. It didn't seem bothered by it at all. That doesn't ease my worries, though. Maybe that's because I could almost feel myself going berserk too. Which means I'm not strong enough. I'm weaker, both physically and mentally, compared to the other elite members. That's why the power of the scroll affected me. I was able to hold off then, but who knows what'll happen next time. If I lose control, I could wind up attacking my friends, and then they'll kill me, and then I'm fucked. No. I don't want to. I don't wanna fight them. After changing into my swimsuit, I walk out of the dressing room while squinting at the sun. I walk out and I squint. Above is an empty expanse of the blue sky. The ocean spreads out before us. I've never been able to get a tan, but it still feels nice. No, well, you do get a tan in Burst Renewal, where you can change skin colors, skin tones. I feel a tap on my shoulder and turn around to see Mistress Haruka smiling at me. You shouldn't look so glum. Why are these lines just not read out? They're just not voice acted. I don't know. It has to be a bug. You shouldn't look so glum at the beach. You should be having fun. You should be playing. Yellow Shinobi need to know how to take a break, too. Such a long line, too. That must have been voice acted, and it just... I don't know what happened. She's probably right. Dwelling on what happened certainly isn't going to do me any good. I decided to change my attitude and try to have fun. Oh boy. So, Haruka right now is like the Katsuragi of the group. Oh boy. Mistress Haruka energetically removes her t-shirt, revealing a pink bikini that barely covers her. Good, that's the idea. That I'm wearing a comparatively modest regulation school swimsuit. Great. Great, regulation, huh? It's really all I had. Mistress Haruka sees how shy and fidgety I am and flashes me a delightful grin. Alright, the geek spirit? What's geeky about a regular school swimsuit? Her eyes crawl over every inch of me. Could addressing her with your eyes, damn. I mean, I like what I'm seeing and I'm not complaining. Mamoru's body is covered with a towel. They're even doing the thing of just taking away the towel from the leader character. Well, she doesn't seem worried. It looks like this is representing a totally different moment here. Without a moment's delay, Mistress Haruka snatches away Homoda's towel. A scantily clad scanty black bikini barely covers her large breast. Really? Barely? You call that barely? Because I've seen smaller. Look at that milkshake. Ugh. This is what I hate about localization changes, because then they always... It just... for some reason, they always gotta change it to sound so much sleazier than it actually is. Not be so loud. Sis steps out of the dressing room, showing off a two-piece swimsuit accented with a cute frilly skirt. I get the tingles. You see, that was fairly accurate. I don't know why I gotta call it. Look at that milkshake! Just sounds so stupid. Sis ignores the predatory look on Haruka's face and walks briskly down to the beach. Oh, and then Hikage, who has a pretty unique looking swimsuit as well. Pretty good. Hikage makes her grand entrance. Oh. I have to surrender. The heavy choice. Sure, the snake pattern. Heavy means snake. It looks so good on you, I have to surrender. Yeah, I mean, it does. Looks kind of fancy. Pretty elegant. Mistress Haruka is a one-woman fan club. Everyone's finally had enough of waiting and ran towards the water. Homura leaps into the water, closely followed by Yomi and Hikage. The cold feels nice, I guess that's what Hikage's saying. I sit down on the beach, watching everyone have fun in the water. But as I figured I can't share in these feelings, I watch them playing, yet I can't stop thinking about almost going feral. I'm not scared of fighting the enemy, but I'm more afraid of fighting my friends than I am of dying. I was bullied all the time as a kid, so now you say bully, not teased? You gonna get teased? I got bullied, but in the elite class, I have friends for the first time in my life, including that one other friend that bullies me all the time. So what do? How do I avoid fighting them? Really, the answer is simple. I should leave Hebijo. Okay. Just like that? So they're doing the Hibari thing of like, I'm leaving Hanzo. But now she's leaving Hebijo, and that'll give the chance of for Hibari to come in. If I quit being an evil shinobi, I won't have to take part in combat operations with everyone else. What weird motivations do you have? Feels really good. They're calling to me, waving their hands. Let me get a drink. For today, at least, I want to forget my troubles and just have fun like any other girl. But I'm not sure I can. The light of the summer sun singes my skin. I turn my back on the sun and sea and begin to run as though my life depended on it. Here it gets kind of real, because after this... Oh, there we go. Wonderful. It gets kind of real here, because then after this, I think we get like Hikage's backstory, and that's kind of fucked up. And then like seeing the parallels. Yeah. We do get some Hikage stuff in here, and I think that's probably my favorite part out of the whole Hebijo story, in my opinion. So I don't get it. So you said you were going to enjoy yourself just for today, and yet you want to fucking hightail it now? It just feels weird. Yeah, Hikage is the worst person to talk to her right now because Hikage just doesn't get it. Just like, she doesn't understand people in general. Crash course on swimming. Sure, that makes perfect sense. She had it delivered here? Sir, sure, so that she could train here at the beach. Fucking weirdo. Hikage has my favorite backstory of all the characters. Yeah, it's definitely one of the more interesting ones. Especially in the narration aspect, right? We get to see what she's thinking. I'm not in the mood right now. Ikude, come on. But we're gonna be playing as Homura here, aren't we? It's weird. Oh no, we are playing in Mirai. I remember the little icon for the missions having Homura's face on it, but I guess I was wrong. Alright, let's do it. We're gonna do this, and I guess Mirai's just gonna get out of here. And so, just like in the other one, the clothing meter is totally, like, gone. And that's how they made it, so that we could get the swimsuit. Just from the very beginning, as opposed to having to whittle it down. Hikage has the best backstory of the Hebijo girls. Yeah, and like, the story itself is just better told. Because it's just an interesting character to hear her perspective on. We're gonna be reading about it next mission. I mean, it has to. We're already getting the Mirai wanting to get out kind of thing. So it stands to... Because, yeah, the Hikage backstory directly connects to looking for Mirai, so... That must be coming up pretty soon. But for now, we have to kill these snakes. I don't know what good these snakes do in Homura's training. They kind of just sit there and look all silly. They look like Muppets. My god, although I feel like it's taking longer than usual to beat these guys up. Just because of Mirai's stats here. And there we go, we're leveled up. so we got a little bit of a health recovery here. Ha! There we go. 350. If they get the job done. Oi, 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 oi. Yeah, but I feel like Homeda would be like, no! These dummies are too weak. They're not strong enough. Give me the big one. There we go. That big one? That seemed like something the Homeda would bring in. Not these random... Not these random, like, little wooden puppets that you see at the doctor's office. Those little wooden dolls that you... Those echochrome-ass looking dolls that you can move around if you want. At a doctor's office. Boom, 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 boom. Alright. The last thing that I want is to get my butt whooped by that big robot. Because my health is really low as is, so I don't want to risk it. Okay. Oh, great. Oh, great. Okay, so do I just spam? Alright, from the looks of it, yeah, maybe. There we go. Okay, so this guy's clearly one of the last enemies I'm gonna have to fight. I assume I'm gonna have to make it to the other extreme of the beach, right? I didn't even see the pier yet, so... There's still gonna be more. Yup. Yeah, we got that boat. Yeah, pretty soon we're gonna... Yeah, we're gonna have to get from point A to point B here. And this guy has like... Oh boy, please. You're kidding me. There we go. At least the ninja art does some damage. Alright, alright. Good. Alright. I'm always worried that I'm gonna die with Mirai and I'm gonna have to do all this all over again. But there we go. I'm relatively low level, so if I keep leveling up like this, then I'll definitely be able to... I'll definitely be able to keep recovering my health and stuff. I'll recover my health and not have to worry too much about Mirai's terrible stats here. The health bar got a little longer. A little longer, but longer nonetheless. Longer than those snakes. Oh my god, Mirai, come on. It's just one little snake, please. There we go. Oh, wait. Let me get you all in position here. Alright, and then just take care of this dude. Yeah, so there are different categories of these dummies. Like, obviously some of them are stronger than others, but to me, as long as I got my ninja art, they're all cannon fodder to me. Oh, it's just gonna, yeah, it pierces through everybody, and that's why it does so much damage, as opposed to just like disappearing as soon as it touches somebody. Alright, I'm seeing the end here. There we go. 10,000 points. 500 points. Alright, how many more enemies are there? Oh, a ton more. From the looks of it. Okay, so before you kill me, let me go ahead and just do this. Did I kill the big robot? No, I did not. Oh, but I leveled up, which means I can probably do the ninja art again. Not probably, definitely. Definitely, maybe. Kide Nimpo. There we go. Only the big boys should be left. Oh, alright. Getting some new combos. I just saw some new moves. Yuppa. Okay. Who did I kill? These guys behind me are probably the last ones. There we go. That was a long level. Just packing heat in the beach in public. in front of everybody. 5.5 minutes. Yeah, like, how does it work? The whole thing with the dummies and the beach. Wouldn't you be disturbing everyone else? Yumi was already concerned that we were just talking too loud. Imagine having a whole war with a bunch of dummies. Unlocked a new picture. Okay. Okay, so here's how you apply using your umbrella as a gun and apply that to swimming. That was somehow an A. I don't know. I'm not gonna question it if I get an A. But yeah, from here on out, Mirai once again becomes a problem for the rest of the team by running away and not being confident in herself. I don't understand feelings. You're gonna have to explain this to me. If you didn't want to get attached to us, you should not have joined. I get it, but my god, she's so stupid. Like, it wasn't enough the first time that she was told to have confidence in herself and to be strong and that her friends got her back and stuff like that. And she... gosh, it's frustrating seeing her run away. Just, you know... That's like an internal, like, mental problem that she has. It's like... It's like depression, right? It's not just something where, like, you can give somebody the pep talk and then it goes away forever. Like, it comes back. But, like, that just makes her do, like, the stupidest choices. In the same way that the Hanzo story is technically, like, mostly just Hibari's story of her fucking up and doing all these things. The Hebijo story is mostly just Mirai's story. And everyone else is just kind of there along for the ride. Like, not even Homura matters all that much because, number one, her backstory is in the Hanzo story. And second of all, she's not really important until, like, the last couple of levels where she fights Orochi and all of the evil versions of the Hebijo students, you know? But, like, Hikage's barely in it. And you know, if it weren't for Haruka, like, pestering Mirai all the time, she'd barely be a character, too. Yomi's kind of barely in it, you know? If it weren't for the whole eating competition. It's weird, you know? We're all supposed to be, like, this the super tight-knit group of girls that are... We got each other's backs all the time, but then, like, there are many moments where, like, it's only one character and most of the other characters just kind of fall into the wayside. But then Mirai in particular, like, she gets brought up so much. Is like, this is her story, and sometimes there's Homura, and sometimes there's Yomi, and sometimes Hikage, right? And then in Hanzo, it's mostly Hibari, and sometimes you see what Katsuragi's doing, and sometimes you see what Hikari is doing, and sometimes you see Yagyu. Right? Like, the only reason for why Haruka's a bit more of a character than everyone else is because of just Haruka's obsession with Mirai, Haruka's obsession with Hibari, and same for Yagyu. Yagyu's obsessed with Hibari, so she kind of, like, the connection with the character, with the actual protagonist, that's what kind of bumps them up a little bit. But yeah, it's just weird. Where could Mirai have gone? Asks Yomi. Mirai. I hope Mirai's okay. Well, let's see. So yeah, and I feel like it's also kind of cheap because it's so weird that they have so many differences from this story and the Hanzo story, but at the same time they have, like, copy-paste the exact same stuff happening, even down to, like, oh, you know, in the Hanzo story, Mirai left the... Hibari left the group, right? But, like, was there really a need to do the exact same thing in the other one and say, oh, well, no, Mirai has to leave the group, right? Like, why? Why do you have to have the same story beats every time? Why can't they just be their own thing? You're already doing a good enough job at, like, you know, essentially making up a different timeline where everything pans out differently, right? So, like, why adhere so closely to certain things but not to other things? That's the part that I find really confusing and kind of frustrating, right? Because then you gotta force these characters to, like, to get broken up just because the other story did it, and that to me just seems like lazy writing. Like, they didn't want to come up with something new, just copy the other thing. But change all of this other shit for some reason. It's just odd. I don't get it. The higher-ups have yet to learn Mirai's disappearance. They can only maintain her silence for so long. How are we still in Chapter 3? But okay. Dusky Avenue. Bring back Mirai. From a person with no emotions, having me worry about you, Mirai. Don't make me remember about that time. Alright, so we're playing as Hikage this time, I think. But yeah, quite possibly one of my favorite story bits in the entire game. So I'm just gonna blast through it. Shit gets real, so enjoy it. Mirai shouted at me, then turned and ran off to the beach. I don't know what was going on with her. All I could do was stand there, dumbfounded. Watching her shrinking form disappear into the distance gave me a weird, dark sensation in my chest. From that point on, she hasn't returned. We've been given an extra 3 days at the beach to look for her. Oh, great, extended vacation. Thank you, Mirai. It's policy that Hebijo students run away or treated as renegades, since they know classified information, such as... The punishment is harsh, of course. She could be imprisoned anywhere from a few years to life. I thought they just killed you. The news of Mirai's disappearance hasn't spread past Master Suzune. Apparently, extracurricular training at the beach is the explanation circulating around the school. Even so, that lie has only bought us 3 days. And we can't find her by then. We'll have to report her disappearance to the school. The first and second days have come and gone. If we don't find her today, she's in serious trouble. The beach, the riverbank, the mountains, the barrens. We searched until our legs are stiff and sore, but no trace of her can be found. She is a Shinobi student after all. It would only make sense that she wouldn't be easy to track. She would have to get into a train for that. Homura doesn't usually look this unsettled. And Mirai used these 3 days to get a head start. There's no way we're going to find her. There's no point in thinking about it. All we can do is just search. We split up to continue looking for her individually. I tried to imagine how Mirai is feeling. Does she really want to leave Hebijo? It didn't seem like it. If that's true, then she probably hasn't gone far. I searched the back alleys of a deserted shopping district. Mirai, where are you? Where did she go? The sun is setting. We don't have much time left. As I look around impatiently, I suddenly have a sensation of deja vu. I remember. I've had this experience before. I don't have any parents. I lived in an orphanage for as long as I can remember. I guess I must have been abandoned. Even as a child, I had no emotions, so the other kids used to tease me constantly. But since I didn't feel anything, being called weird or dead-faced obviously didn't bother me. Most of the kids seemed to find my attitude unpleasant, to put it mildly. I was 8 years old at the time. I escaped the orphanage. I don't have any deep meaning for the action. I was just uncomfortable, so I thought I'd leave. Isn't that a feeling? People can live on their own. I wandered aimlessly, just barely surviving, but surviving nonetheless. A child living like that turned out, well, pretty much like you'd expect. An unsavory character. I fell in with a group of street crooks. There was a lot of turnover, you might say, so I don't know how many were in the gang. I'm guessing it was around 40 in total. Our leader was a girl named Hinata, maybe 20 years old or so. By the way, Yageshi Nan has actually made artwork for Hinata. For people to know what she actually looks like. She pretty much just looks like Hikage with different hair. Which to me, I mean, cool, we get to see what Hinata looks like, but in another sense, my god, how fucking lazy do you have to be to just make the character that means a lot to another character to just look like that character, right? I hate it when people do that. When it's just like, that looks exactly the same as the other person, but like palette swapped. Or maybe not, I don't know. Like, I recall I recall Hinata just looking identical to Hikage, but just with little tiny things changed around. Yeah, maybe 20 years old or so. She had smooth, pretty skin and always wore trendy clothes. She looked more like a model than a gang member. Despite her looks, she was deadly with a knife, not someone you'd want to go against. She was downright sadistic in a fight, which terrified everyone around her. Just like me, Hinata had escaped an orphanage. Maybe our backgrounds were similar. But she took good care of me. Even in the gang, I got teased a lot about my expressionless face. But Hinata was different. There's nothing strange about you. You're fine just the way you are. That's what she always said. It was a pretty odd statement, really. No one had ever said anything like that to me before. Hinata's different from the others, so I want to be near her. I want to hear her voice. I must have followed her around like a puppy for I don't know how long. People can live on their own, but living by yourself is dull. I started to think that way ever since I met Hinata. A little typo there. Think and that. Need a little space there in between. Open your heart, people say. Yeah, for the Senran Kagura burst update. Put out an update. We changed it. Correct all the typos from 10 years ago. Without emotions, I never quite knew if I was doing it right. But maybe. My feelings about Hinata was the feeling of opening my heart. Even now, I can't say for certain. One time, thanks to some of our more incompetent members, we pissed off a rival gang. It came to the point of wanting us dead. One after another, our gang members were being slaughtered. They had no problems killing the younger members of the gang, and I had a few pretty close shaves myself. At the rate things were going, we'd be wiped out, so Hinata approached our rivals to negotiate. But she never came back. I looked around for her. I don't even know how many days I kept searching. The other gang members suspected her of making a break for it and trying to escape on her own. But I didn't believe that. Hinata wouldn't abandon the gang. She wouldn't abandon me. Even if the members left the hideout, I kept looking. My search brought me to one of the back alleys of the shopping district. A familiar-looking figure lay in a nearby dumpster. Please let me be wrong. God, or anyone, I'm begging you, don't take Hinata away from me. I staggered to the front of the dumpster. There lay Hinata, limp as an old rag, her skin illuminated by the orange light of the sunset. Hinata! Hinata! I screamed as hard as I could, but Hinata gave no answer. Her smooth skin had been mercilessly slashed to ribbons. I touched her blood-drenched form. I felt how cold she was, how the warmth had been completely drained away. She was dead. She was long dead. Her favorite knife lay by her side. I picked it up and gripped it tightly. I held onto it as hard as I could, feeling as though the knife bore her soul. And I did, indeed, feel it, like something had dropped in my heart. Drip. Drip. It was like rain. Rainfall inside of me. I speak her name without even thinking. I'm by a dumpster in the shopping district where I spot someone dressed like Mirai. If I had not played like Shinobi versus and Bon Appetit before this part, I legit would have shit myself, because this is a fantastic... The fact that it cuts to this is like heartbreaking. But like, you know, if this was my first game, I would have been like, fuck, you know, she's fucking dead, and that's awful, right? I played all the other sequels, you know, I played a bunch of other games before this, so you know that Mirai's alive, right? So like, this kind of like didn't hit as hard for me as it could have. But it's a good connection. It's like, there's a reason for why the flashback happened, right? And it's because Hikage saw this and it triggered all of those memories. Yeah, and like that face, man. The image of Hinata's dead body rushes back into my mind. A chill runs down my spine. With a lump in my throat, I approach the dumpster. Mirai's body isn't the garbage. She's not even twitching. My strength leaves me, and I drop to my knees. Mirai suddenly sets up. Just a prank, bro! Hey, gotcha! Okay, you found me. So much for playing dead. Ah. That sucks. That just takes... Like, they didn't commit to that. I don't know. It's just so shitty of her. She looks at me uncomfortably. I don't know, part of me kind of wanted... kind of wanted to read it. I don't know. The fact that she just gets up and goes, just a prank, bro, lol, is just like... It kind of ruins the scene for me, but hey. She looks at me uncomfortably. Also, you're a shinobi. You could have traveled much further away. Plain dead? Is that seriously, like, the most creative idea that you had? You could have just, like, hid. You could have just ran away somewhere. But yeah, Hikage's like, you idiot, don't do that. That's when I feel something drip in my heart. Drip, drip, drip. Just when I lost Hinata, there's rain inside me. Mirai looks at me shocked. Crying? Me? That can't be. I take her hand. She gives me a tiny smile and offers me a handkerchief. Crying? Am I really crying? No, that could never be. I don't have any emotions, so there's no reason I would ever cry. It just can't happen. But, maybe. Maybe that raindrop feeling in my heart is the sound of tears. Maybe I was in tears while thinking of Hinata and Mirai. If that's true, then maybe I dab with Mirai's handkerchief. Oh. I look down at the fabric and notice that it's slightly damp. And that's it. The end. But I mean, this game's basically porn, isn't it? Why'd you run away? Because I was worried that I'd hurt you for something that I already know I can overcome. Yeah, and then you'll die for real. Fighter. I like that there's no music there. Just silent, just the two of them talking. You just hear the sounds of the people passing by. Oh, there's music. Why going all serious? Definitely, they made it a lot more emotional. Well, now I don't want to do it. How is this a Hikage mission? It's interesting with who they chose to like host this mission. Because like it could have been Haruka, it could have been Homura. It could have been Mirai, right? I mean, it could have been Hibari. Right? Maybe like in Mirai running away and Hibari also running away from Hanzo. Maybe their paths could have crossed. And they switched places or something, I don't know. But no, they chose Hikage on purpose. To be the catalyst of this. Interesting. I like the choice of music, although all of the anime yelling is kind of ruining the moment, though. Rolling out all the lines, all of the battle lines. Alright, move on. There we go, get him there. We're bringing you back. There we go, level up. Don't touch me! Kind of weird choice now that you mention it, but I don't think it takes away from how good the bit is. I mean, it's because of Hikage's backstory that this is appropriate and good. But, yeah, I mean, this could easily have been anyone else, right? And now the two of them have an important connection with each other. And having the normal outro, I think, is also kind of ruins the moment. They should have done it like how they do in the ending to the story, where, like, you know, they just kind of put the weapons away and they just look really bummed out at the end. Hikage should have done this as well. Instead of just you win the level, motherfucker. Here's rank B. You know, just you don't really need that, especially now with the backstory and the really nice dialogue scene before this, and then the music during the battle. Yeah. They could have taken like a couple of steps forward and it would have been perfect. There we go. Yeah, it's impressive how like the lack of music can like really punctuate a scene and make it better. Hmm? The pose. Yeah. Yeah, now if you want to go back on your own, then that's your deal. I don't get it. Absolutely. Alright, I forgot that that's how that scene played out. I love that there was no music in that part. Save. So, I mean, obviously Mirai comes back, right? But I guess she just decides to come back on her own. I mean, she's still gone, yeah. Such ferocity, what on earth could have happened? What went down? I had no idea anything was wrong. How stupid. If only she had said something. If only you'd stop not taking her own feelings into account and kept fucking with her. The super secret duper ninja art scroll. I wonder what sort of mysteries are locked within it. Now I see what Mirai's been on about. I swear, she just doesn't get it. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, how stupid can you be? We've told you multiple times that you don't have to worry about that shit. I'm stuck! Oh no. I'm so worried about Mirai. Oh my god, where are you? I'm looking everywhere. Okay. This happened to me one time in Shin Megami Tensei 5. And now it's happening to me again here. What the hell? Why do I keep getting stuck in between places? How do I keep finding these things? Why is the icon for the dressing room missing? Oh, god damn it. Well, the good thing is that we saved our progress. So we can just go back that fast. And oh god, if we end up in the same area again, we're fucked. There we go. We're still in chapter 3. Why? And we still have what, like one more? No, this has to be the last mission. 8 missions for every chapter, right? 8 for each. Gosh. This is gonna be such a long playthrough. Alright, shopping district PN. The second time this month. Where you're keeping track? I don't even think about it in terms of the month. I just remember this is the second time this happens in a different game. Bring back Mariah. Leave me alone. We're even trying to be nice to me. I can't respond to that. Oh my god, I'm sick of chapter 3. I just want to move forward. There we go, found her. Oh god, stop worrying about a what-if scenario. You're stronger than that. That's what Homer is gonna say. Yeah, you fucking idiot! Yeah, and you're not one of them. There we go. Improve yourself until you're not. Tell me I'm wrong? Yeah. There we go. That's a good roast. At least try to be stronger instead of just giving up. Again. This is not the first time they fight. Mm-hmm. There we go. We're gonna whoop some butt. To wrap up the chapter. Fucking finally. Alright, Frantic. I'm just beating your ass. I'm just going for it. Get ready to get destroyed. There we go. I am not gonna give you a single second to breathe. How many health bars you got? You have a blue, so what, like 4? This is 1. And then this is the second one. Okay, so 3, I think. Let me get that. You want to get that experience while you're out there floating in the air? Oh my god, 3 of them? Well, don't mind if I do. That's 1,500. And there we go. It's only reasonable that I level up after that. Yeah, kicking you in the fucking head tore off all your clothes. Go, 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 go. There we go. Whee. Alright, will this kill you? No, just narrowly. Oh, come on, really? That didn't do anywhere as much damage as I thought it would. There we go. Finish you off. I just wanted to end it like that. Yeah. And you're done. Woo. Oh, God. I'm definitely just gonna go to bed after this because I'm trying really hard to keep my eyes open. There we go. Hanzo Academy, new swimsuit added to clandestine Hebijo, clandestine. Okay. We unlocked a whole bunch of stuff. This is the end of the chapter, of course. Again. No. Homura's like one of the stronger characters. So like in comparison to her, most people are weak. Who knows? How much time has passed? Yeah. Dark accepts all. Yeah, let's go home and so I can give you a big old spanking for being stupid again. There we go. Coming back. We're gonna skip over everyone else's reactions to her coming back, though. We're gonna get these comments, but like, you know, the in-moment thing of like, hey, she's here. Oh, there we go. Now all 5 of us are here on screen. I'm sorry for the trouble I caused. I gotta get stronger. I mustn't lose to myself. Thank goodness Mariah's come back. Now I can keep tormenting her. I'm very happy that Mariah's come back safely. Now to celebrate with a sprout party. Since Mariah got back, that tight feeling in my chest has settled down. What was that exactly? I've reported to my superiors. Let's see to it that this occasion is never repeated. Well, you tell Mariah that. You ain't gotta tell me nothing. Alright, so how about Homura? What does she think? Time for more training! Okay. Back to business as usual. Chapter 4, Shifty Eyes, Hebijo renovations, defeat Hibari. Alright, more fighting Hanzo characters. I've been doing some thinking and I've decided I'm going to transfer to Hebijo. Yeah, so again, they still maintain the whole, like, come into Hebijo sort of thing. Alright, for how long have I been going? I just want to see... I just want to check my time. I've been going for 1 hour, 27 minutes. I think I'm out because I am very tired and very, I'm getting very sleepy. I think that was a really good way to end it anyway because, it's a nice, strong story segment. Characters have been developed. Things have wrapped up. It is a good bookend to move on. I figured that we would just, like, fight against Asuka and win, and that would be, like, the end of Chapter 3, moving on to Chapter 4, and all the beach stuff would happen there. But no, like, within the same chapter, they shoved all that stuff towards the end. And, yeah, I completely forgot that that's how it went. But yeah, it was a great part of the story with Hikage and seeing Mariah and all that stuff. There are still some parts that kind of fall short and that are kind of stupid. Now that I go back and I revisit them, but it's still pretty cool. For a game that did not need to go this far, you know, for a game that could just be a bunch of fan service, right? It could just be girls in bikinis just doing funny things and just talking about their boobs all the time. They didn't really have to do this, but they did, and I appreciate that, right? And so and when it comes to feedback, when it comes to these games where people say that there's no other value other than the fan service, and that it's basically porn, and that there's no other thing, there's nothing to it. I think about this scene a lot, and it's like, hey, you know, there absolutely is, you know? And another thing that I've said many times before is that this story is not perfect, you know? I'm a fan of the series, but even I can admit that the story is kind of sloppy and clumsy and just handled in really weird ways because they want to have their cake and eat it too, right? Of having all of the hot anime waifus have fun little lighthearted moments and no one dies, no one gets hurt or anything. But they also kind of want to, like, finagle all of these really serious moments, right? And I think when the flashback with Hikage ends and it cuts to Mirai laying on the dumpster, that to me was really strong. That was a great, like, cut, you know? But, like, they don't stick the landing by the end of it, right? They kind of, like, pull back and be like, no, she's alive, she just played dead, right? And, it didn't have to be that way. It could have been some other random dead person, or could have been some other throwaway character that then dies. And then that, like, you know, just creates more motivation to find Mirai. And then, maybe you can have the mission with Homura later. I don't know. I just feel like it could have handled in different ways. There's a lot of interesting stuff that kind of gets pitched in these kinds of Senran Kagura stories, but they never fully commit to it because, you know, in this world of Shinobi where you could die at any second, nobody really dies, nobody really gets hurt, and everybody's just kind of friends by the end of it, where they're naked in the hot springs, and they go to the beach, and yay, it's all happy fun time, in this ruthless, you know, unforgiving world of Shinobi, where the evil, you know, the evil ones, they'll kill you whenever they have the chance, and the good ones, you know, are out there, you know, sticking their necks out for people, and like, you never really see that. It's just like, you know, they talk big, but at the end of the day, they're just like teenage girls kind of playing pretend ninjas instead of actually, you know, kind of doing good with what they're saying. On one hand, I think it's a good thing because I like the lightheartedness, I like the comedy, and I like the fan service and all that stuff, but at the same time, that also factors into why this other darker end of it can't really blossom and fully develop, right? If this was a different series, if Senran Kagura was like relatively the same, but with more male characters and guy characters, and, you know, if it was expanded to just have, like, different genders of people and also have, like, some hot girls sprinkled into it, I think there'd be way more dead characters, there'd be much more drama, there'd be much other stuff happening. But because it's all of the hot ladies and you want to protect the waifus, then, you know, it's always, like, they're always like 65% there, and then like when it comes to the really ugly stuff, they kind of just don't do it, right? I mean, they do it with stuff like Ikitosen and stuff like that, but I don't really like Ikitosen as much as I do this, right? So, I don't know, it's a weird balancing act, and the writers and the developers tend to opt more for the lighter kind of stuff, which is fine, right? But I feel like if you're gonna do that, then like don't also lean on this darker route and then not commit to it, right? They just kind of back out of it or make some excuses for why, you know, it doesn't really get too real. But yeah, it's mostly the backstories because it's really easy to write a backstory and say, oh, my parents died, lol. And that makes me feel sad sometimes, you know? As a writer, it's really easy to just kind of build that, you know, and not see it, right? Because, oh, that happened a long time ago. But yeah. It's interesting, but even then, even with all of those complaints, I think the story is far better than I think most people give it credit for. Most people just kind of shoo it as like, some fan service thing, whatever. But I think there's something there, right, that needs to be appreciated. Because if you look at Neptunia, I don't know, I still gotta go back and see those stories to see how good those are. But like Gun Pixies and Drive Girls and Dead or Alive, you know, all of these other ones where like they just don't feel as loved or as well put together, right? It doesn't feel like it's the vision of one guy, right? Like Takaki's vision. And so, you know, it's something that I think needs to be appreciated more. Hypno on the chat, hello, is saying, hey, and he's saying, I've been watching your videos and I just wanted to say that I think you are extremely underrated. Thank you very much. I appreciate that a lot. I'm glad that you're watching the videos or you're sticking around for the live streams. I do a little bit of everything. Most people know me as like different things. Years ago, I was like the Persona guy because I would do the calendar runs for Persona. And then after that, I was known as the Mother 4 guy because then the Mother 4 indie game was being made and there were like a lot of updates and I was making videos on it and a lot of people would discover me through that. So I was like the Mother 4 guy for a little bit. But then I started playing Senran Kagura, and now people have kind of typecasted me as, like, the guy that talks about anime fan service, mostly Senran Kagura, right? And then I did some One Piece videos, and some people kind of know me through that, and then I did the Beatles video, and that's other people that know me through that, so I am a gaming-focused variety channel. And so I like to do a little bit of everything, so wherever it is you found me from, I appreciate you. And I thank you for bothering to take the time to watch me because not a lot of people do. Especially not these long-ass live streams and stuff. But I enjoy doing it. And I take a lot of breaks. But I always come back eventually. I especially like your One Piece commercial videos. I was actually thinking of making another one for those. Because if you've seen those videos, then you know that there's a ton of comments saying, hey, you missed this thing, you missed that thing, you missed that other thing. And there's a lot of like Japanese text that means references to One Piece, right? Especially the Zoro commercial and stuff. where like a lot of the kanji is like the same name as like his attacks and stuff. There's a ton of stuff that I missed in all of the commercials, and so I was thinking of maybe going back and reading all those comments and like screenshotting the comments. And then with the screenshot, I went to accompany it with something from the commercials, where it's like, hey, here's everything that I missed from last time, right? And then just do like a little compilation of, you know, all of the stuff that was missing. Obviously, those commercials are old news now, and so obviously it wouldn't get as many views, but that's fine. I want to make it. I think it'd be fun. Especially, and you know, involve the One Piece community into it by having it be like, hey, here's this comment from this guy that pointed it out, right? Like giving credit to the people that pointed it out, because I don't want to like do a narration and do the references again, and then make it seem like I did it. Like, no, a lot of it is like super deep cuts where like you need to know Japanese to be able to like notice a lot of this stuff, and I'd rather just make a compilation of comments as opposed to just me saying it. That'd be cool. I'm looking forward to that if you decide to make another one. I might. I don't have a lot of time right now. I'm really busy with stuff, but I was thinking that if I have like a weekend, if I have like Saturday and Sunday to work on something and I don't stream that day, I could probably whip something up relatively fast. I say relatively, right? Like the majority of the time we'll be sifting through all those comments and screenshotting all of them, but if you're interested in that, I can totally do that. But yeah, I barely see Mother 4 from your channel. Well, that was a long time ago. I'm saying, like, if you go to my popular uploads, there's some Mother 4 videos there. But, ever since the developers of that game went radio silent, and, there hasn't been any updates in, like, years, and then they rebranded it to be, like Oddity, this other different game, and, you know, these guys essentially got scared, because at the time, the Mother 4 was kind of picking up popularity in Steam. It was, at around the same time that AM2R got taken down by Nintendo. It was at around the same time that Pokemon Nuclear, Pokemon Prism, all of these other fan games and ROM hacks and stuff, they were all getting like a cease and desist from Nintendo. They were getting taken down. They were getting like DMCA claims and all that stuff. It was scary. Anything that was Nintendo related, Nintendo was taking down that was fan made, and people were like, oh shit, you know? You have a fan game? Oh, well, good luck with Nintendo, right? And so, rightly so, it annoys me, but rightly so, the Mother 4 guys were like, fuck, we don't want all of this work to go to waste, so let's just rebrand it, let's change the name, let's get rid of all of the Mother enemies and all that. They essentially just, it just ended up being a different thing than the thing that I was interested in, right? Like, I bought into it because it was a fan-made Mother game, and it legitimately looked like it would be like a good sequel. And they kind of just backpedaled, and it's just a different thing. It's a different thing. Even the mechanics with like the music attacks and all that stuff, just it's not the thing that I bought into at the beginning, and so I am no longer interested. That's just kind of the long and short of it. I just lost interest in that, especially with how long it has taken for them to finish that game. It's like maybe 3 or 4 different times they've been like close to finishing, and it's like, oh, our release date will be in June, our release date will be in winter. They've had like 4 different release dates, and the game is still not out. So now it's become a when it's ready kind of thing, and I'm on their Discord, right? Like, there's an Oddity Discord, and it's just like a couple of friends that just kind of hang out and talk, and that's it. There really hasn't been that much else. So I've just kind of left it. I don't make Mother 4 videos because there's nothing to talk about. So, you know, that's kind of how it's been. Keep up the good work, man. Thank you. Thank you. I don't like to stress myself out when it comes to YouTube and what kind of content I should make and what other people like, and oh, it's been a week. I gotta put out a video, right? Like, I don't like being that guy. I like to kind of just make stuff whenever I'm inspired and whenever I want to do it. And so, not long ago, I made a video announcing that I was taking a break. And, I said there that I wasn't going to stream anymore. I said at all, no streams, ever. But then, I played Senran Kagura Burst on an emulator, and I said, man, this is so great. I kind of want to play through it again. And that's kind of what sparked my interest in streaming again. And then Shin Megami Tensei 5 also kind of made me want to stream again. And so, you know, content creation, videos and stuff is something that it's just been in my blood for so long that it's difficult to let go of. It's difficult to leave, right? And so I ended up kind of being a little hypocritical and coming back a little bit. But if I can add a little asterisk to that, is that when I'm done playing the Senran Kagura games, when I'm done with Burst, and when I'm done with Neptunia and the Senran crossover, I'm out of here. You know, like I'm not planning on doing more. And again, if I feel like that desire cropping up again, then I'll do it, right? Like I'm not gonna like totally cancel it and say no, never. But it'll be a whenever I can kind of thing. And for videos, I definitely want the videos to be like the last couple of ones that I've been making, where like I sit down, I script something out, and I just read it out, you know? I find those videos to be a lot more like well put together and more meaningful and more insightful than just like, let me react to this thing. Well, let me tell you why this sucks, even though I gave it like 5 seconds of thought, right? And I just think stuff like video essays and stuff will probably fit me the most. But yeah, things could change. Hypno is saying, do you mind me asking what your favorite One Piece arc is? That's a really good question. I like a lot of One Piece arcs. For me, I like the simpler stuff. A lot of the pre-time skip stuff I like. Arlong Park to me is great. Like a fusion between like Baratier and Arlong Park. Like the way that both of them connect into like this beautiful thing. I like it a lot, especially in the manga. General, like just what, like my number one most favorite arc? Probably all of Water 7. And when I mean all of Water 7, I mean like the entire like CP9 like saga. I mean like the second that they arrive in Water 7 and Robin leaves to the moment that they leave Water 7 and Robin is there and Usopp is there and all that stuff. All of that was fantastic. You know, all of my like my top favorite moments from One Piece are from that arc, you know? We get to see Gear Second for the first time. Usopp leaves the crew, Robin leaves the crew. You know, they feel like the crew is falling apart. Frickin' the Going Merry is like dying, I guess. Like they leave the ship, and that's what creates a lot of conflict. Frankie joins the team. There's so much change that happens in that arc, right? You know, we see the flashback with Robin, with O'Hara and all that stuff. A lot of cool just fights with the Straw Hats versus the CP9. And we get a really like intimidating new villain that is still relevant today, right? The world government at large with CP9 and then CP0 and all that. What else? A really nice fan service. Nami's outfits going into Water 7 and Eni's lobby and all that stuff is fantastic. The voice performance, even if you want to talk about the anime specifically, the animation for like the last battle with Luffy versus Lucci is great. The music, the pacing, the flashbacks, it's all great. It's all awesome. I would still opt for the manga, but if there's anything that I think the anime does to surpass the manga, it's probably all of the fight scenes. You know, when Luffy goes Gear Second and the final battle with Luffy and Lucci. I think those are worth watching. Everything else you can probably just read with the manga. And I'm loving Wano right now. Usually when people ask me about One Piece, the next thing that people ask me right next to what's your favorite arc is, what do you think of Wano right now? Because if you go to my channel, you'll know that I used to review One Piece chapters a little bit, but I kind of got bored of doing it, and I wasn't really saying anything interesting when I was reviewing them, and nobody was watching them and stuff. It got poor viewership, and I personally just like wasn't feeling particularly fulfilled making those videos. I got tired of doing it really, really fast. And so, yeah, I haven't updated anybody on my thoughts on Wano recently. I have one kind of bad-ish thing to say, and the other 99% is like really good things. One is that I think Wano right now has been awesome. And that one little point of criticism is that I feel like it's dragging on for like forever, you know? People say that Marineford takes a long time, or that there's a lot of filler with Marineford in the anime. When it comes to Wano, even in the manga, it's like, God, man, when is something gonna happen? I feel like there's a lot of, like, meandering and going back and forth, and who's gonna fight this guy, who's gonna fight that guy, and just kind of, like, a lot of not really knowing what to do. But, yeah, it kind of meanders a lot. There's a lot of chaos happening around people, but nothing's really moving forward. It just feels like it's just dragging and dragging and dragging and dragging. I feel like the arc could have ended 40 chapters ago, you know? And they're still doing stuff because there's like a billion characters and they all need to have their moment, you know? From 0 to 10, how decent do you think the One Piece live action would be? I don't know. I haven't seen anything of it. I know what the actors are gonna be for the live action one, and they look pretty fucking perfect. They look identical to the characters. I think the choice for Nami's really great. Usopp in particular, they could not have found a more perfect person for Usopp than that guy, you know? And all of them were like relatively unknown actors, right? They're not like, it's not like Tom Cruise as Luffy and Scarlett Johansson as Nami, right? Like, they didn't go that route, which I think is great. And Eiichiro Oda is kind of overlooking a lot of this, which I think is awesome. Obviously, the Netflix series is going to be super truncated and like abridged, you know? Like, a whole arc is going to be like one episode, and that's just kind of how it has to be, obviously, with the budget and like the scale and the world that One Piece is. They're not going to do it exactly the same as in the manga and not in the anime or anything. They're obviously going to change a lot of things, you know? I'm going into it knowing that this is not going to be like the manga. This is not going to be like the anime. It's not going to be like the video games or anything. It's going to be its own completely different thing. It's going to be its own take on the story. And that's okay. You know, I've never thought that One Piece ever needed a live action adaptation. I think the anime itself and the manga itself is perfectly serviceable to drag people in, you know? You can just tell people that in terms of comic book rankings, it's Superman, Batman, and then One Piece. Literally, number 3 most best-selling comic book of all time everywhere in the world. And that should get people to watch it or to read it. But like, for some people, you know, if it's not live action and if it doesn't have real people in it, then it's not a real movie. It's not a real series. It's just a cartoon for kids. And so, the live action is mostly for like really narrow-minded idiots to watch it and realize that the show is legit and stuff. I think it's mostly a transition into getting people to, you know, read the manga or watch the anime. It's to validate the show in the eyes of people that think that non-live action means not valid, right? Or not as good. But yeah, you know, they can give it a shot. They can give it a shot. Pirates of the Caribbean, the first 1 or 2 movies are fine, right? They can do it again with a show that's mostly in the ocean. I'm just wondering how they're gonna do like devil fruits and stuff. Like how much CGI is gonna be in this, right? But anyway. Hypno is saying, I'm currently on Fishman Island. What do you think is something to look forward to? Well, you're about to arrive into the new world. Get ready to see, like, what a bunch of characters look like after the time skip. You know, 2 years later. You know, what does this admiral look like? What does this marine guy look like? What does this character look like, right? Get ready to just, like, see a lot of characters from pre-time skip and wonder, man, are they ever gonna do anything with this guy? Are they ever gonna do anything with this character or that character? Start thinking about all of those little, you know, like, you know, I haven't heard from this warlord in a long time. I wonder what they're doing. And they're probably gonna, at some point, they're gonna show up. And you'll see what they look like and, you know, how much things have changed or how much things haven't changed. Stuff like that. What time skip are we talking about? We're talking about One Piece. But anyway, I think it's about a high time that I left. I've said a lot. I enjoy it. I like having these little, like, post-stream kind of discussions. But, what character do you hate the most? I don't know. Spandam, probably. Yeah, in terms of villains, I really hate Spandam. And not because he's, like, a shitty character or anything. I mean, he was designed to be hated by everybody, right? He's like this completely incompetent, awful, stupid, clumsy, and super evil motherfucker, right? Like, he was made to be hated. And I think, you know, I hate him. You know, it's not even a thing of like, oh, you know, he's a villain that you love to hate. No, I hate to hate him because that's his character, right? He's supposed to be like the most despicable man out there, and he doesn't even have a devil fruit, right? He doesn't have a devil fruit. He's not super powerful. He's not nothing, right? Just a guy that was born into power because his daddy was like a big, you know, Navy official or whatever. But yeah. Now, in terms of characters that I hate, in terms of like, this is shit and this should not be in the series and it's horrible and cringe and I hate it, anything that has Foxy in it. Long Ring Long Land with Foxy and his gang of autistic morons just like going in there and just being cringe for like an entire story arc. I hate that too. You know? Foxy and the Spandam and anything that's just a little bit too cringe for me in One Piece, I hate. I hate when, like, jokes are, like, regurgitated a million times, especially in the anime where they gotta, like, pad out the episode with filler, you know? Like, I remember hating Sanji at some point because, like, the nosebleeds whenever he saw hot ladies, it was just the same joke over and over and over again, and they would stretch it out to be so long, and it would really, really be annoying. That joke would get old really fast. Among other things, right? It's weird how, like, in the One Piece world, especially post-time skip, there's so many things that change, but there's also so many things that stay the same, right? And the stuff that stays the same is the most annoying stuff, which is usually, like, running jokes for, like, character flaws and stuff like that. You think that after the post-time skip, you know, it'd be interesting to kind of have those characters not have those flaws anymore, but no, it's like, they double down on it, you know, and by they, I mean Oda, I guess. But yeah. Okay. I think we're good. I look forward to your other streams. Yeah, thank you. Thank you. I'll probably stream again tomorrow, with more Senran Kagura. I was gonna say something else and I just forgot. But yeah, thank you. Thank you for showing up. Thank you for subscribing and being a fan. You guys know, like, if you guys think that I'm underrated, the best way for me not to be is to tell other people about the channel, you know? Not necessarily spam links everywhere, but, like, you know, if the topic ever comes up, and somebody, you know, needs a good content creator to watch, then you can just send people my way, you know? Just tell them, hey, this guy's cool. He's chill, you know? Or, like, if there's somebody out there that wants to, see somebody play Senran Kagura in 2021, you can say, hey, here's this guy, you know? Here's somebody that respects anime fan service, that isn't really stuck up about that kind of stuff, and he plays Shin Megami Tensei and all this other stuff. I don't know. A good One Piece creator, you know, because, hey, this guy, the guy that did the commercial stuff, he's cool. You know, just word of mouth. Just word of mouth. I'm not asking you to do anything, you know, big or anything. Because people always say, man, you deserve more views. And then, like, nobody ever does anything about it. Man, if only more people could, like, if only somebody could, like, share your channel and other people can tell you, if only there was somebody that could, like, tell other people about your channel, that'd be great. And, like nobody does anything. But whatever. That's okay. I'm doing it for the fun of it. At least now I am. But yeah, thank you everybody. I'm probably just gonna go to bed now because I'm very tired. See you later. I'll probably just keep playing Senran Kagura tomorrow. See ya, bye-bye.